Where have you been banned from, and why? I was at a concert a few years back after I turned 21. I went to the concession stand and ordered 2 beers and a large Sprite. The lady asked for my ID, and I handed her my brand new license, but it had a minuscule crack on a corner. She refused to sell the beer to me, so I politely told her I didn't want the Sprite and I turned to walk away. After a couple of steps, I feel something hit my back and a wetness running down my ass crack. She threw that large Sprite at my fucking back. I was completely sober, so I kept walking and decided to shrug it off. Some security guys were standing by and saw her throw the Sprite and came over to question me. I started to tell my story and the concession manager ran over and talked over me, saying that I ordered a bunch of stuff and refused to pay for it. Of course, the security people believe her, and they told me I had to pay for that Sprite. I said I would pay for it if that lady that threw it would apologize. The lady refuses to apologize, so I refused to pay, and the security ended up throwing me out before the concert even started. Also, I received a lifetime ban from said venue. Fucking a-holes. See, this is where getting more pissed off right back would have helped. I would have demanded immediately to speak to her manager about the bartender that threw a fucking drink at me, and told them they were lucky I wasn't asking to speak to the cops. Under 21 patrons are still patrons, and you had the right to decent service, regardless of whether or not you qualified to purchase alcoholic beverages. 1. She should not have prepared you the drinks without asking to see ID first. That was her fault. 2. How the fuck are they going to charge you for shit they won't sell you? That is a rip-off and a scam, and another issue for which a call to the police would be warranted. I'd have threatened to call the Better Business Bureau, as well, and the liquor board for good measure. Man, this story pisses me off. They're lucky that wasn't me, is what I'm saying. I've done more for less. Always report this kind of stuff. I was at a festival a couple weeks ago, just turned 21 myself, and I showed my ID to get the wristband that allows you to buy drinks. The dude giving out the wristbands decided he couldn't accept my ID because he'd never seen a Virginia license before. I even showed a credit card proving that my name is actually my name, but he wouldn't take it. I wasn't even planning on buying drinks there, but that shit pissed me off, so I called the venue the next day and reported it. They compensated me with free tickets to a future show. Always report this stuff. I got banned from the Harry Potter forums years ago for accusing everyone of being a muggle and saying Voldemort. My local Chinese all-you-can-eat buffet for eating almost all I can eat. Does that sound like a man who's had all he can eat? 'Tis no man, 'tis a remorseless eating machine. My father and I got kicked out of the Titanic Museum in Branson, Missouri. Near the end, they had a big bucket of water at the same temperature as the water when the Titanic sank. You are supposed to dip a finger in it and move on, but shoving your whole arm in to see who can last longer is frowned upon. In Gatlinburg, Tennessee, there is a tourist attraction called Wonderworks that has a bucket that was the temperature of the water where the Titanic sank, and the point was actually to see how long you could last. There was a timer and everything. Been there, didn't last long. That shit is cold, fuck that. That day I learned that to add to my irrational fear of drowning while trapped in my car, I can add to that in ice cold water to make it extra fucked up and scary. Westin Hotel Sports Bar in Cincinnati. On my first honeymoon, we drank 2 bottles of champagne and cheered for our hometown college football team. Cheered too loud in a sports bar. Got kicked out of a Sonic drive-thru once. I was 16 with a group of friends and we decided to get some grub. Unfortunately for John, his order was wrong, so we pulled around, let him out, and he attempted to go inside and have it fixed. He comes out about a minute later with a second bag, saying they compensated his order by letting him keep the old order and giving him a new one. He checks the new one, just to be sure, and sure enough it's also wrong. He storms out of the car and goes inside and proceeds to throw all the food at the employees. Needless to say, John doesn't hang out with us anymore. I'm banned from Canada. I got a DUI for standing 10 feet from my car with keys in my hand when I was wasted. DUI laws blow. Sorry. Canada. P.S. You're still banned. Sorry. Funny thing is that I can write a note apologizing and they will forgive me. I'm amazed they even kicked you out. If you get a DUI or any alcohol-related driving offense in the States, they won't let you cross the border. I was banned from every J.D. Weatherspoon's bar in the space of one night. That's 900-ish bars. Apparently I stole a Curry Club poster from the toilets. The manager confronted me and demanded I return it. I was wearing jeans and a t-shirt, so nowhere to hide a poster. A staff member had seen me, until I asked him why the staff member hadn't stopped me. Then the story changed to him seeing it on CCTV. I asked him if I should call the police and tell them he was filming people unaware in the toilets. At this point it was quite clear the guy was none too bright and possibly unhinged. Anyhow, he finally got pissed off and grabbed all the beers from the table and told us to leave. Sadly for my friends, I was the only one who had already finished my beer. Anyway, the next time I walked into the bar, the manager disappeared, then came back trying to look all official and handed me a letter saying I was banned from the whole chain. I'm 100% certain he typed the letter himself on headed note paper, and it carried no weight. On a side note, I love J.D. Weatherspoons. I had breakfast in one this morning and it always makes me feel a little badass. My friend and I are banned from all Weatherspoons. The reason? I punched him in the balls. That's right. He is banned from all Weatherspoons for getting hit in the nuts. They probably don't want people who do things that deserve a punch in the balls. When I was about 8, being the little shit I was, I threw a temper tantrum when my family and I went out to eat. Right as our meals came out, I let out a blood-curdling cry, and hurled my fork across the room, and it hit another little kid in the head. I remember him bleeding, and the mom taking him to the bathroom and cleaning him up. The restaurant owner then decided to put all our food into to-go containers, and kicked us out. He told us to never come back. I was once kicked out of a club, when sober, for slipping on a wet floor and knocking over the sign warning me about the wet floor. One of the bouncers ran up to me, shouting about how I kicked the sign over on purpose. I assumed he was joking, so laughed it off. He was not joking. A water park for stealing a cop's sunglasses while he helped his kid pee. Not me, but a friend from GameStop. A kid was in line about to buy a PS3. My friend tells him they are cheaper in Amazon, and came bundled with a game. The kid promptly leaves the box on the counter and walks away. The manager overheard everything and gave my friend a lifetime ban from GameStop. He might have said some not-so-polite things to the manager. Got banned from using the vending machines in high school for putting a mousetrap in the takeout port. I can imagine a "Beware" sign with your face on it taped to every vending machine on campus. When I was in 7th grade, I got barred entry from 7 to 11 because the clerk was crazy. I was walking and waiting in line, and he started yelling at me, telling me not to look at the wine bottles. I was just curious is all, and so I told him what's wrong with me looking at them. Then he told me that I had to be 18 to look at them. What the hell kind of law is that? So throughout the year I went in with disguises and tried to see if I could sneak in. He caught me a few times, but every now and then I would get him. I mean, even on his day off he would come in and wait for me, 'cause he knew when I got out of school. The guy had some unforeseen vendetta with me and I don't know why. Saw him at a Big Lots once, too. That was real awkward. Banned from an IRC because me and the admin broke up. Pro tip, don't date the admin. Church. I used to play the drum set in the church choir. One Sunday I brought it a double bass pedal and proceeded to make the songs a bit more metal. Got bitched at by the choir director as soon as Mass ended. The pastor had a meeting with my parents. At the time I was around 16 years old, and told them I was banned from the church. Kinda lost faith in religion at that point. Edit. Probably should have mentioned I'm an atheist now. I was banned from the 3rd floor of a museum when I was 13 or so. There was some kind of social mind experiment where you had to go into a room and stand on a mark on the floor. I was there with some of my classmates, and we all took a place. After everyone was on a position, a voice would say stuff like, "Don't step outside your marks. The program has started, keep your position. This is no test, please stay calm." So everyone was tensioning and soon they all were afraid to leave their marks. It really was a little creepy, so I decided to mess with them and stepped out of my mark, fell to the ground and acted like I was electrocuted. They all freaked out, screamed, and soon there was security who asked me to leave and not to come back. You are a genius. A hilarious genius. Toys R Us, when I was 18, over a Star Wars Wolfman action figure. My friend's family was rich and he was, let's say, eccentric. He would regularly wear a top hat and a trench coat and make extravagantly wasteful purchases. He was super into collecting action figures, especially WWF and Star Wars, and had literally 500 plus of them. He had me drive him to the Toys R Us and help him find a Star Wars Wolfman action figure. I had no idea there was a fucking Wolfman in Star Wars. We spent like 50 minutes in the action figure aisle trying to find it. Eventually we gave up and left without buying anything. On the way out, we were confronted by security saying they thought we stole things. Even after turning out our pockets and letting them search his jacket and under his top hat and not finding anything, they said, "Okay, well, you were acting suspicious, so you're banned from Toys R Us for a year." I'm surprised that didn't automatically get me on a watch list somewhere. I'm banned from working at every Walmart on the globe after I farted in front of a woman, and got written up and fired for being rude. I tried to cough to cover my fart, but I was off. Where have you been banned from and why? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.